Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Coe Show. My name is Mason Coe here, as always, with my co-host Aaron Coe.
Hi.
Today is Monday, December 28th. I hope everyone had a very Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever you celebrate. I hope, even if you couldn't spend it with family and friends, I hope that, you were still able to feel the holiday spirit and, maybe eat some cookies, gain a few pounds, and, even if you couldn't get gifts from your family, maybe you order some stuff off Amazon. That was cool. So, yeah.
And we have, 3, 4, if you count today, 4 more days of this fucking year. So,
yeah, 4 more.
So that's good.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the calendar doesn't actually mean anything. So,
damn it.
So I don't think our problems vanish in 2021, but things could be looking up. Hopefully.
Yeah. Well, there were a lot of people at the end of 2019. I saw a lot of posts on Facebook. I'm glad. Goodbye 2019.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I guess be careful what you wish for.
Yeah.
It can always get worse.
Yep. All right. Well, let's get into some good stuff. Yeah. Obviously. Okay. So we missed last week. We beat the Washington football team. It was kind of a boring game for the most part, and
I think Dwayne
stressful.
Haskins had a great time after the game. So.
Yeah. He did have
the game was boring. He needed a little more excitement.
Unfortunately, he did not have a great time after this game. We'll talk about that on Wednesday.
Yeah.
But yeah, so 20-9. It actually looks like a more boring score than the football team score, but I would argue it was a better game to watch.
Yeah.
There were some definite highlights to talk about. Russ looked pretty good. The numbers don't look fantastic for him here, but I think, he looked pretty solid other than some sacks he took. Chris Carson, again, the numbers don't look incredible here, but the runs, 16 for 69, those were a great 69 yards. Yeah, I mean, he did a great job. Russ, 3 for 9 rushing, but, those came at key times, I feel like, and obviously he had the touchdown. Again, DK 6 for 59 doesn't look that good, but he had that huge third down conversion. He had a few really big plays, so I feel like it wasn't a huge stats day. Jordan Brooks kind of stood out a little. He had eight tackles, a tackle for loss. I still feel like the numbers don't do him justice for this game.
I thought he played really well.
Yeah, he played incredibly well. I mean, you got Jaron Reed getting 2 sacks despite fighting through potentially a little reinvigoration of that chest injury. Do we know?
I haven't heard any more about that.
Okay.
I know that he was questionable all week, and I don't know exactly what the chest injury was, if he sprained a titty or what exactly happened. But and then it looked like he was in pain and was off the field for a couple plays, and then came back. So that was really encouraging to see.
Yeah, for sure.
So we're finally getting depth back. So
seriously,
I really don't want to lose anybody for the playoffs, because you can see what that depth does for you when you have the defense that you wanted to have for the most part.
Yeah, and what do you think about Jamal Adams saying that we have the best defense in the league, and that we can quote him on that?
Hey, I like it. I like that he says that, and I like that he believes that, and I want them to believe that. I want them playing with confidence.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want Trey Flowers style.
Yeah,
right?
true.
Oh, I'm afraid.
I will say, has the attitude of the defense changed with the absence of Trey Flowers?
Maybe it's all him. They'll just all follow his lead.
Yeah.
But no, I like that attitude. I don't think they're the best defense in the league, but they have been playing pretty well. And you could argue, not exactly the 80s, 90s 49ers or the, whatever the best offenses of all time you want to talk about. But that being said, they're doing what they should do against some mediocre to poor offenses. And they are without question playing better. It's not just about not the best offenses. They are for sure playing better. They're getting more pressure. They're covering better. They're just every aspect of the game. They look a lot better. I'm not going to put them as the best, but I think they've moved from arguably the worst to top 10, and that's all we wanted, right?
Yeah. And I mean, just to, like 5 weeks ago, do you think you would have expected us to give up 9 points?
No.
To the Rams?
To anyone.
To anyone. And literally, I mean, name a team.
Henry M. Jackson High School would have put up 10 points.
Name a team.
a couple months ago.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's just, in general, a great improvement. Now, I will say, definitely for the first half, we relied on Jared Goff making mistakes, which he did, and which, like, I told you, that's not the worst thing to rely on, but in the playoffs, we'll be seeing Aaron Rodgers. We'll be seeing,
You could
Brady.
see Breeze, Brady,
and
Rodgers.
Rodgers.
Yeah.
And then Mahomes,
Yeah. So, yeah, it's not going to be easy, but...
So we can't really rely on that, but
yeah.
Once again, you have a guy like Sean McVay at the helm, he's really at the helm, not Jared Goff.
Yeah.
And Jared Goff, he's not a good quarterback, but he's not the worst quarterback in the league. So to give up 9 points, I feel like that's pretty solid.
Yeah, and I think it's funny. Have you ever been to a game where you're beating a team that's favored and the crowd starts saying overrated?
Yeah.
Overrated.
Yeah.
I always feel like, don't say that. That means you're not that good.
Yeah.
That means they're worse than they were supposed to be, but you're not better. I want to be better than we were supposed to be. So, so there are some people that would say, well, Goff is so terrible, and McVay has been figured out, and there may be some truth to that, but I don't want to look at it that way. I want to look at it as the defense has gotten better. So I'd rather think maybe our defense is looking pretty good, versus they look bad.
Yeah.
I think the Seahawks had something to do with them looking bad. So
true, and I mean that's the thing with Jared Goff is he can't handle any pressure, which means we were getting pressure. And even though Jared Goff is worse under pressure than obviously the quarterbacks we just listed, the fact that we were getting pressure at all is huge. Because we just haven't in the past.
And they didn't blitz as much as they have.
No.
I think Jamal Adams only blitzed. I would almost bet the house that he blitzed less than 5 times in the game.
Yeah.
I remember a couple, and he hit Goff one time. But he was playing. They looked more like the Seahawks defense that we're used to. They were playing more single high.
Mm-hmm.
Jamal was in the box more like Cam Chancellor used to do. Now they did blitz more than they did back in the day, but they weren't bringing Adams so predictably as they had.
Yeah.
Like, look at we want to play with our new toy.
Yeah.
Now I think they're using him, more like they should. So we don't know if he's coming or not.
Yeah.
Is he coming? That's what I want. I want them not. Okay, he's coming.
I don't want him lining up at defensive end when he's coming.
No.
You know what I mean?
I want it to be, shit, is he coming? Okay.
Yeah.
Then you don't know what to do.
Yeah.
But if you know he's coming, you can, okay, he's going to rush, he's going to get there, but let's throw a screen. You saw the Seahawks get beat by a lot of screens. And the funny thing is the Rams are one of the best, side-to-side screen type teams in the league, and that was, totally ineffective. So the Seahawks, I think, adjusted to the game, which was good to see. I
mean, that's huge. That's really what you want to see, especially with... I feel like we have talent, I feel like there's a decent amount of talent on this team, especially in the secondary.
Yeah.
What you want to see is adjustments, because that's what... I feel like that is why people have been calling for Ken Norton to get fired, is we were giving up points and points and points and points, and there wasn't really an adjustment other than we got Jamal Adams and now we're blitzing him a ton. Yeah. That was the only adjustment, and that's just because we got a special player, Yeah. So... I feel like if you're making adjustments at the, I kind of wanted to fire Ken Norton too. I'm not gonna lie. I wasn't like fully in on it. I didn't want him gone this week or whatever. But, really just the fact that he is making adjustments at all, or if it's Pete, whoever is making adjustments.
Probably both.
The fact that they're making adjustments, it just, that's all I need to see.
Right, and who knows? I mean, maybe Pete's more involved. Maybe Ken Norton will get fired at the end of the season, and we'll find out that he's not even calling it. Who
knows?
You never know what's going on. I was like, fire him if you want to, whatever. I don't think it's going to help. I mean, the bottom line is half of his defense was injured. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, when you don't have your 2 starting corners, and you have you're missing your safety for a bunch, and you have a bunch of defensive linemen out. I mean, it's going to be real hard. So you see what happens, when you have most of those guys back, and then I mean, DJ Reed is, buy me a goddamn jersey, because
seriously,
I love that guy. I absolutely love that guy. Yeah. I love the way he plays.
Hate him if he still played for the Niners too. That's
yeah,
funny. He talks so much shit. It's so
yeah.
great. But yeah, no, he's stepped in so great in 3 or 4 different positions this year.
Yeah,
I mean, and he's not only held his own, he has impressed. All of the positions he's played.
He's outplayed Quentin Dunbar.
Yeah.
He's outplayed Trey Flowers.
Shaq at times.
Shaq, I was mad at Shaq a couple times yesterday.
You were.
I think I said?
You said they better not pay him.
They better not pay that man. Yeah, but I think that was like, how many fucking 3rd and 9s are we going to give up in this game? That was kind of early on, and he gave up one of those, and you're like, but he, after that, I don't remember really noticing him other than he made some nice tackles in the run game, but I didn't notice him being an issue. So,
and that early on is when we were relying on Jared Goff making shitty throws, and a receiver would drop a ball here and there. But yeah, in the second half, it didn't feel like that was the reason that they weren't scoring. It felt like it was the Seahawks making plays.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
that was really nice. And then offensively, ultimately, I guess disappointing. I mean, you only scored 20 points. You're supposed to be this great offense. There was a lot of run pass kind of going on early on, which I don't love to see particularly. But also early on, Russ kind of looked a little rough. But also, maybe if you let Russ get in a little bit of a groove, let Russ cook, as your apron says. Then maybe I feel like there needs to be a balance, because we've talked about the weeks where all we're doing is throwing and he's putting pressure on himself. And then I feel like we get Chris Carson back, and the first 2 weeks we had him back, it was really well balanced.
Yeah.
And then I feel like, even though we didn't put up a ton of points, because I guess Russ played a little rough, but this week I feel like the game plan shifted a little bit too much back to the run for what I would like to see.
Just maybe a little bit. A couple of things. First of all, this is the worst Christmas present. This apron, let Russ cook. This is the worst Christmas present I've ever received.
Hey, you were grilling in it yesterday, man. What are you talking
about?
I
decided, so yesterday, the game was kind of an ugly game. I was getting kind of hungry, so I'm like, I'm going to grill up some carne asada. So I put the apron on, just, I didn't want to mess up my Kenny Easley jersey.
You
that
ate
I
the
was
rivals'
wearing.
food. It was LA food.
Right. Oh God, yeah. So, and then shortly after that, they scored a touchdown. I'm like, okay, I'm not taking the apron off. I cannot take the apron off.
Yeah, and it was pretty much smooth sailing from there.
Yeah,
for the most part.
Yeah, I mean, we had. So we'll come back to why it maybe wasn't totally smooth sailing in a little bit.
Okay, yeah.
But back to Russ. So, early on, let Russ cook. They were throwing a lot, and then for some of that was because they didn't have their top 2 running backs for a couple games, and the let Russ cook became a little predictable.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't working quite as well because you didn't, teams were not respecting the run, especially with Chris Carson out, and then they kind of bounced back to maybe a little bit too much run. So I'm hoping this is kind of like what they do with the defense, where blitzing up. Okay, we want to blitz more. Let's blitz all the time. Okay,
yeah.
I hope they find just the right ingredients for Russ when he's doing his cooking. But to me, part of that is you do need to use Chris Carson, and against the Rams, those guys are killers on the defensive line.
Mm-hmm.
So you needed to run the ball to get them to totally not let loose. They also have shown that they're susceptible to the run. So I think that was the game plan going in, was they are, they do struggle against the run. The Seahawks have always struggled against the Rams defense because Aaron Donald just will ruin your life.
Yeah.
So I thought Russ played pretty well. It's maddening at times when he won't take a 4-yard, he turns down a 4-yard completion to give up a 6-yard sack.
Yeah.
he's looking for something bigger. And sometimes the best thing you can do is, on even if it's 3rd and 6 and there's you have a 4-yard completion, do that.
Yeah.
That's better than 4th and 12.
Well, it gives you the option to go for it, or
maybe the guy makes a move.
Someone breaks a tackle. Yeah.
So he's still at times. I think he has a little PTSD from years of, they said on TV yesterday that no one's been sacked more in their first 9 seasons than him.
Yeah.
He's been hit a lot. Made it through it, knock on wood so far. Started every game. But at times he ducks out of there when there's not pressure yet. And at times he doesn't throw the ball when he should, and now he's under pressure, and he doesn't look at him. He's just not as fleet of foot as he was a couple years ago.
No, he can't escape quite as well.
Yeah, he's not doing the pirouettes and the crazy ass spins, and it's just that part may be gone. He's gonna have to be more of a rhythm quarterback now. So, but that being said, so there were a couple of those. He did get sacked 5-6 times yesterday. But that being said, I thought he played pretty well against. That might be are the Rams the best defense in the league? Maybe. Mm-hmm. Who's better? Who's better than the Rams defense? It's hard for me to.
There's a few you could throw in there. I think like Steelers, but
I don't know. I mean, look at they're decent, but I don't know. The Rams are certainly in the discussion.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
There's a couple others that are good, but. Anyway, I thought he played reasonably well.
Yeah, and you said Jared Goff's best play of the day was him kind of escaping pressure and throwing it 4 yards at his tight end's feet and just getting rid of it. I think that was right after Russ took a sack, probably.
It probably was.
But yeah.
But sometimes that is the play.
Yeah.
Just get rid of it and live for the next down.
Mm-hmm.
Jared Goff's next downs weren't always so good.
Yeah.
But that was a smart play.
Yeah.
By the way, have you ever seen a worse interception than the one that Jared Goff threw?
No, I don't. I think he said it's the worst play he's ever made. I think he actually said that. It was Troy Aikman was ripping on him too. He's like, he just said, I don't know what he saw there. It was incredible how awful that pass was. But that's Jared Goof, baby.
Yeah, there are many different kinds of interceptions,
mm-hmm.
and almost every time you can see what the quarterback was thinking.
Yeah,
and why it happened.
Mm-hmm.
So there's I saw Chiefs quarterback Mahomes. God, I can't. It's
Jesus,
so
dude.
bad. Getting old sucks. Just wait. So I saw Mahomes throw a red zone pick yesterday.
Yeah.
Really bad.
Yeah.
But he just flat out didn't see a linebacker that was halfway between, I think it was the tight end.
Mm-hmm.
He just didn't see him. Just threw it right at his tight end, but there was another dude there.
Yeah.
But you see what he was thinking.
Yeah.
And you just, okay, he didn't see the guy. You
By the
way, get it.
By the way, Patrick Mahomes is the most drop picks in NFL history. So he's fucking lucky. So stop talking shit, Tyreek Hill, about how your quarterback doesn't throw picks, because he should throw picks. 16 drop picks. 16.
Wow.
16.
Wow.
Anyway, keep going.
He threw a bad one yesterday. So you have those. Then you have the ones where, you're just trying to gun it into a tight spot, and you just shouldn't have tried to muscle it in there. You see those. Those are pretty bad picks. And then you have the ones where clearly the receiver and the quarterback, the receiver thought he was supposed to go in. The quarterback thought he was going out, and it looks really bad, but usually that's on the receiver. But you can look at the replay and see, okay, obviously he expected this and didn't get it. That play, there was nothing.
Nothing at all.
Nothing. He lobbed it into the middle of the field.
There's no way to explain it whatsoever.
There was nobody that could have gotten there, no matter what pattern they ran.
No.
I think it's the worst throw I've ever seen. And I covered high school football.
Okay, because, what is worse? You could say you could say, oh, there's definitely a worse throw, but like, what is worse? There was no receiver within 20 yards. No one knew where he was trying to throw it. He could have just like thrown it away.
Yeah.
Why is it there any worst throw ever? I don't think there is.
I can't, and I can't remember ever seeing anything that bad. We saw Trubisky throw into quadruple coverage in the end zone. That dude
threw a Hail Mary from 15 yards out. I don't know why.
That was really bad.
Yeah.
But at least there was a guy with his same color jersey, near the football.
Yeah, yeah.
This one was just like a little lob.
Like, I don't know, was he trying to throw it away? Like, was he trying to just kind of put it in the middle of the field, but he just put it up too
That's
much?
the only thing that I could think of.
That's the one single thing that may explain it, but still, I don't, yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to lob, you don't want to, if you're going to do that, you don't lob it into the middle of the field with guys running 4.4s running around.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was puzzling. So, and while we're on the Goff side, he did break his thumb, apparently.
Oh, it's actually broken.
That's the report.
Okay.
But a couple things about that. First of all, if you break a thumb, and this was later in the game, right? So it wasn't like he played the whole game that way. If you break a thumb, it is very hard to throw a football. I will grant you that. However, I've broken a lot. I've broken a thumb, and I've broken many. I think I've broken one thumb and 7 fingers, if I remember right. I can't hold up enough fingers to count all my fingers, but playing flag football. And, when I've done that, it does hurt, but it's not debilitating. It's not, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not pain. It's not really that painful. Like, it kind of hurts, but it's not that big a deal. I didn't stop playing a flag football game because of it. And I certainly didn't walk around just letting everybody know. Oh my finger.
Yeah, in the hand warmer.
I gotta tuck it. I gotta tuck it in there because my poor.
Here's the thing. I'm gonna let you shit on him for that. I have never broken a finger, so I can't.
It's just that
I'm perfectly okay with you completely. I thought it was fucking hilarious how you kept talking about it last night.
Just let everybody know, at every turn. Oh gosh.
Yeah. And then you were like, see, he clapped his hands. He can't bitch anymore.
God, he's just and he has such a punchable face, too.
Yeah, he looks like a little bitch, dude.
Can't stand that guy.
Maybe most punchable face in the NFL, potentially.
But you've played sports with guys that they let you know if something hurts.
Yeah.
And you just can't do that in the NFL, especially when you're the leader of a team.
Yeah.
You smile and just eat that pain. But you could tell he's letting everybody know. I don't know. That guy.
Yeah. All right. Well, I mean, what other stuff do you have for this game? I mean, it's one of those games where there's not a ton of like highlights there's not a ton of stuff to talk about, honestly, with this game.
Well, first of all, how did we not lead with this? They won their division champions.
Oh yeah, fucking division champs, baby. Let's
division
go.
champions.
Let's go.
That's awesome. And
hey, Greg Williams, you think Jamal Adams bored, fucker? Yeah, don't think so.
Well, Greg Williams is bored because he's unemployed right now. He's brushing up his resume.
Yeah. But by the way, last year he had coaches calling him saying, you don't even need to interview, just sign the paper. We want you as the head coach.
Right.
But he just decided to be the defensive coordinator for the Jets. So he'll have something lined up. Don't worry about it.
Totally, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
So, a couple things about that. First of all, I think going into this year, a lot of people felt like this might be the best division in football. Mm-hmm. It was either this or the NFC South.
Yeah.
It was maybe the other one that people talked about. So to emerge from that is amazing. And I know that there's been some injuries in San Francisco and things like that, but the Seahawks had a shitload of injuries too.
Yeah.
They battled through that all year. So to win this division is a huge accomplishment. So they'll be at least the 3 seed. They still have a chance to be the number 1 seed. They need a lot of help for that.
You need Packers and Saints to lose, right?
I think so.
And we need to win, obviously.
But the Bears are playing pretty well, and they are trying to get in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So you're going to get their A game.
Yeah, true. And also a divisional matchup, it's one of those things.
I
I
wouldn't
might just, if I were a betting man, I might just mess around and put a little parlay on the money line for the Bears and whoever's playing the Saints and the Seahawks.
I don't know if I would do that. But it's possible.
Yeah.
It's possible.
Yeah.
And then, I think sometimes I get a little frustrated when people don't celebrate a division championship. People have this attitude of, I don't care, I want to win the Super Bowl. Yeah, I want to win the Super Bowl too. I want to win the Super Bowl every year.
Yeah.
And every year that they don't win the Super Bowl, I'm frustrated. However, man, only one team a year gets to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, you're just a miserable fan if you can't celebrate anything other than a Super Bowl.
Yeah. So to me, really enjoy this. If you're someone who doesn't appreciate this, you're probably a 12 since 12 kind of person.
We haven't done this since 2016. People don't realize it's actually been a while.
Yeah.
It's not. This doesn't happen year in, year out.
And going to the playoffs is not something every year. Virtually every year is not something that happens.
No.
For most organizations, you got the Patriots, and
take it from a Mariners fan who couldn't talk when the last time the Mariners made the playoffs.
Yeah. So, just enjoy this, and we'll see where it all leads. But awesome that they've won the division, and that you just gotta celebrate that. So I had to bring that up.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing. And again, I think I wish I should have. I meant to write these numbers down, but I think Pete Carroll has won. I think he's won 5 or 6. I forget.
Something like that.
And before Pete Carroll got here, they'd won 7. So he has almost half. And you can credit Holmgren for most of the other ones.
Yeah.
They had virtually nothing. I think they had 1 before Holmgren got here. I think a big one to talk about is a couple big moments in the game. You had the Rams had 1st and goal at the 2-yard line, and they come away empty.
Yeah, and Jamal Adams was the one that he chased down. I think it was Darrell Henderson.
Yeah,
and that was a huge tackle by him, and then obviously the ensuing stops.
Yeah, you had KJ. I mean, on 4th, so you had a sneak, which those are usually fairly automatic.
Yeah,
from a yard or less. But great job by the defensive line to blow that up.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had KJ Wright blow up that last play, and I don't think he made the tackle, but you had the other outside linebacker, Jordan Brooks, and Bobby in there to clean it up, but he's the one that kind of made that play.
By the way, sorry, go ahead. It's a whole separate point.
Okay, so and the other thing that this is kind of a separate point too, but while we're talking about linebackers, KJ Wright, just unbelievable.
Yeah.
I thought he might not make the team this year, and he's maybe playing his best football.
Yeah.
On the other side than he had been the last few years, and then the side-to-side game that the Rams, they like to run a lot of bootlegs and naked bootlegs. They fake the run to the left. Goff circles back around to his right, and there's a guy there. There were times where KJ Wright was just like, okay.
He didn't even look at the running back.
Good. That's a cute little circle you did there, Jared. I'm waiting.
Yeah.
I'm waiting.
Yeah.
Throw me the ball, So they really didn't bite on any of that stuff, which was great. I think they're starting to gel that way and kind of knowing what they're all supposed to do. So great job by, I think the linebackers were outstanding yesterday.
I just want to say I owe an apology to LJ Collier.
Oh yeah,
he's obviously I still not the production you quite want out of a first round pick, but I just thought he was going to be gone this year. I didn't even think he was going to be on the team this year, and he's actually made impactful plays. There was a play where he just basically checked Robert Woods on a block and forced Jared Goff to. I think that was the play that he made the shitty throw for the interception. Right. I think LJ Collier was putting pressure on him on that play. I'm pretty sure it was that play. So, he's he hasn't been racking up numbers, but he's been in there.
He's playing like a 3rd round pick.
He's been in there. So yeah.
So he's a contributor, a solid contributor.
Yeah, but
to
I fully slandered his name, so I just need to apologize to him.
Yeah.
I talk so much shit on him, so on and off the podcast. But yeah, overall, I think we've said this a ton, but just that unit of defensive linemen, no break, no stars, but just 6 or 7 just dudes.
Yeah.
Just 6, 7, 8 guys that can just they'll get half a sack here. A couple weeks later they'll get a sack and a half. Like just guys that can just get in there sometimes. They have a bunch of 3rd round picks basically, and when you have enough of them, it works. So yeah,
it just makes the mix a lot easier. If the guy next to you is playing better, he garners more attention. Now you're gonna play better, and that makes the guy next to you play better. And then you mix in blitzes, and that just overall, it's great to see the line be healthy and playing pretty well.
Yeah, and this is speculative, but I'm guessing they're probably, I'm guessing I know the Seattle's locker room is always good, so I'm guessing probably the D line is really close, and that might have something to do with it too, because like you said, when they're all working together like that, I think the locker room might have a huge part to do with that too, and again playing with that confidence like we were talking about earlier.
And we did have a little drama before the game with Snacks.
Oh yeah. So I just want to say shout out to Snacks. I think he handled it super well, especially on Twitter. I don't know if you saw his tweets, but he handled it very well. And fuck all the fans that were just like feeding into the bullshit about it.
Yeah.
Just fuck you. Like Snacks is a good dude, clearly. I mean, he said that he loved it there. It was just his time to go. And it was, no love lost for either side.
The only issue I have is, dude, maybe just be inactive for a week, and they might need you again.
True.
I mean, I get it. You want to play, but I he did handle it well in the media, but I feel like, dude, maybe just try being inactive for a week and see where it all goes. They got Monet back, and Monet played, I thought, really well yesterday. He's kind of the big dude that you want Snacks to be. So, but that being said, he didn't make it ugly.
Yeah,
at least publicly. So
and I understand what you're saying there. I'm just talking about the fans that are like, like fuck you for leaving, like all this, just really, and like just tweeting at him and stuff. So just leave him alone. I don't know.
It was interesting the way Pete worded it is, you can tell that Pete, you have to really you need a Pete Carroll translator sometimes. Yeah. But basically Pete today said, Snacks is, done here. And what that means is, I don't, if a bunch of people get injured, we're not signing him again. Mm-hmm. So I don't think Pete liked the way that it went down.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. That's me translating Pete Carroll. Yeah. Because Pete Carroll's never going to say, fuck that guy. Yeah. But I wonder if he felt a little bit of that. Yeah, we'll never know. But yeah, I'm glad Snacks was here. He helped out. And wish him well. Hopefully he goes to an AFC team and doesn't hurt us down the road.
Yeah. What else he got?
One more thing about Jared Goff that was interesting was and also that 4th down stop. It was interesting that they didn't run a play action at all out of any of those 4 plays.
Yeah.
So that, maybe McVay doesn't trust Goff a whole lot. Yeah. I felt like on that 4th down, if they would have done a play action there, someone would have been wide open because the Seahawks were boxed in there pretty hard. Yeah. The linebackers were back a little bit, but they were like leaning, like they were ready. So, what else do we have? In that goal line stand, that may have been what won the division for you. Yeah. Because very well. It's a different game if they score there. And then the Rams, Seahawks kind of dominated from that point. The Rams were maybe that was their last gasp. Yeah. We'll see on that. the final TD drive.
Mm-hmm.
What were you feeling? So it's Seahawks are up 13-9. I don't remember how much time was left in the game, but the Seahawks get the ball back, and you felt like. And what were you thinking at that? Was there 5 minutes left or something?
5 minutes, yeah. So obviously we're just hoping for a touchdown to put it away, and I think you were like, wouldn't it be nice if we could just put it away here? But I was just like, I mean, we're gonna run 2.5 minutes off the clock and give them a chance to score a touchdown. I mean, that's just what I've been kind of conditioned to feel at the end of those games. Just not by virtue of me not trusting Russ or anything like that, but just because that's the Seahawks. That's how it goes with the Seahawks. Yeah. So yeah. What about you? What were you feeling?
Yeah, I was nervous. Well, first of all, you had before that. I'm skipping back, but you had the Ryan Neal roughing the.
Oh yeah,
that was earlier though. No, what I'm thinking of. Gosh, there was a penalty that led to a first down.
Yeah, there was. I know what you're talking about.
Anyway, I'll come off of that. But no, I felt like, can we at least get a field goal here?
Yeah.
And if we don't score, you're leaving yourself open. I mean, the defense had played well, but I mean, it's the NFL. Teams move the ball, so I thought that was a great drive.
Yeah.
It showed there was some creativity in there. It was a good mix. So it was just great to see them put a dagger in their throat and just, hey, we got to relax for 2 minutes of a game, which is more than usual. So that was awesome to see.
For sure. Yeah. All right. Well, are you talking about the DK illegal shift?
Oh, that's what I'm talking about.
The one that, DK illegal shift.
That's what I'm talking about.
DK illegal shift. Okay, yeah. So I'll just touch on that for a sec. So DK basically didn't get quite set all the way. He was just kind of moving his feet a little. Yeah. And we got a first down that pushed us back 5 yards, and then we had to punt. And then that potentially could have cost us the game genuinely. Yeah. So I think that's what you're thinking about.
That is what I'm thinking of. Yeah.
And it was dumb because it didn't affect the play, but also DK, you just gotta, DK's gotta know to get set. Yes. I feel like there's one thing a week with him, pretty much.
There are, yeah.
So
we're learning every week.
Yeah, we're learning one new thing every week. But the thing is, so far he hasn't repeated the same mistakes.
Yes.
So I'm not. Like I'm not like gonna be really pissed about it.
I'm sure I've yelled this at you before. I know I've yelled it at other kids when I coach, but like make a different mistake.
Yeah.
You've made that mistake over and over again. Yeah. Make a different one. Mix it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's good to see him go that route. Let's see. What else do we have? I thought Jamal Adams played really well. Again, didn't blitz much, but he was there.
He was around. Not
good coverage
not
at times.
Huge numbers. He had, he was towards the top with tackles, but nothing that pops out, makes your eyes pop out of your head or anything. But he was all over. Again.
He had good coverage many times that I saw. Be curious to see the all 22 and see how he was on every play. But I thought that was his best coverage that I've seen against. Hey, those are good receivers. Those are receivers that have put up big numbers.
Well, yeah, Cooper Kupp.
He was killing us early.
I don't know what his numbers actually ended up being, but 8 for 66, so that doesn't look like a ton, but those were all in the first quarter, pretty much.
Yeah, third down conversions, third
down conversions in the first half.
Yeah,
that's what
I think a lot of those were against Ugo. Maybe I know they mixed it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's see. I thought one thing that we didn't mention was Russ did get sacked a few times. They had two starting offensive linemen out,
Yeah.
So, not the biggest Agbui fan in the world, but I think he's playing okay.
Not terrible. And, considering it wasn't a game where we were like, holy shit, the line is so fucking bad.
Yeah.
So I'm fine with that if we have two offensive linemen out.
Yeah, and then Ayupati, who goes out every game.
Every single game.
Missed the whole game this time.
Yeah.
And, I think it's Jordan. Is it Simmons? I thought he played okay too. But still, when you have two offensive linemen, it does change there's communication. You always hear, I don't know how true it is, but you always hear you want the same 5 guys, for years together, and that's how you win. It was good to see Greg Olsen get back out there, and
I didn't think he would be.
Yeah, I thought he was
soon.
done.
Yeah,
he had a key 3rd down catch early in the game. Wasn't out there a lot, but he's just a veteran savvy guy that can help you.
Yeah.
Win some big games. So good to see that.
Also, we were talking about this. David Moore just is honestly a top receiver in the NFL as far as contested catches go, but he just doesn't really have anything else in his tool bag. So it's like, like how do you even rank him as a receiver?
It's hard. I feel like he's playing a golf course with the 3-wood.
Yeah.
He's got the deep contested ball. Doesn't have the driver. DK's got the driver, right? He can crank it down the fairway.
Yeah.
DK's got the 3-wood, so he can
David Moore.
David Moore's got the 3-wood. I don't see him running good routes. I don't see him blowing by people. But man, he's just got great body control and that was an outstanding catch.
It was
that he made.
45 yards, yeah, and that's all he did today. It was 1 for 45 yards. Didn't even have another target.
And it was
so
a big play, obviously, and Russ probably could have run for 15 yards there. So it was a kind of a curious decision for him to throw that, but it was a perfect throw and an incredible catch under tough circumstances. So yeah, I don't know what it is about Moore. I wish he could develop, put a couple extra clubs in his bag. But hey, without, it looks like we're never going to see Josh Gordon again. So
yeah, I don't know.
So we're going to need David Moore to be a factor for sure.
Yeah, and I said it yesterday. If you're going to have a receiver that's only good at one thing, that's not a bad thing.
Yeah, that's a good skill to have for sure.
So if we're going to pick one, I'm not mad that it's that. But yeah, what else you got?
What did you think about the offense in general, the game that was called?
I said it earlier. I thought early on we were doing a little bit too much running on early down, but I feel like towards the end we were, when we had to score, I feel like we were kind of, if you want to say let Russ cook, but
yeah.
I feel like we were kind of moving to passing on early downs. I feel like some of the concepts they ran were good. Like I like the route that Tyler Lockett ran where he went in motion and then it was like an outside post thing.
Yep.
So he just kind of ran like this looping route and it was really nice. There was a lot more short, like kind of easier passes for Russ in the second half. I don't know if that's because Russ was making those decisions or what, but overall I didn't feel terrible about it. I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell for me why we only put up 20 points.
Yeah, I love the Hollister play.
Yeah, that was such a great play.
Because it was a great call, and then he ran such a great route. He really sold that cross.
Mm-hmm.
Like it looked like he was going to cross, and so he really. A lot of receivers don't sell that enough, so the corners don't bite on it. But he really made it look like he took a couple steps in and cut back out, and a nice ball by Russ on that as well.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, overall, I feel like I want to see more creativity with DK.
Yeah.
It's not like Ole Miss where they were just run as fast as you can down the field. They're not doing that with him, but I would like to see him. Hey, catch a ball behind the line of scrimmage once in a while and use your speed and your strength to get some yards, especially against this type of defense.
Mm-hmm. He's a guy, you just want to put the ball in his hands.
Yeah.
He's one of those receivers, I'm trying to think. He's not one of those, he's like you said, he's not just a burner where it's like he just is fast. That's what he does. It's not like Will Fuller. He's a guy that, yes, he's fast. That's part of his game, obviously. But with the ball in his hands, he is dangerous.
Yeah,
his speed is dangerous, but also just in general, when the ball is in his hands, something's gonna happen. Kind of like Tyreek Hill. He's not as strong as DK. He's way smaller, but he makes guys miss. Kind of in the same way, right. Where you don't want Tyreek Hill to touch the ball at any part of the field.
Yeah.
Same thing with DK. And I feel like they use Tyreek better in that regard.
Yeah, he's all over. Like they use him in so many different ways, and I feel like DK. I feel and they really didn't target him at all early in the game. They finally did later, but to me, I would like to see more creativity with the offense as a whole.
Yeah,
and in particular with DK, I feel like there's some meat on the bone there that they're not chewing on right now. So I'd like to see him get double-digit targets.
Yeah,
pretty much every game. And if he's got a great corner on him, and Ramsey, right, is arguably the best corner in the game, or certainly one of. Yeah, you're not gonna run your typical offense, but yeah, take a couple shots, and find get him the ball on screens. Crossing patterns. There's a lot of things that you can do. You can also move him around a little bit more, and then because I don't think Ramsey was following him necessarily. So put him in some different spots and make more adjustments. So that would be probably my biggest complaint, was just I would have liked more creativity. Right. I didn't need more passes necessarily. I'm happy. I think they had 24 runs. By running backs, or 21, something like that. I don't know how many Russ
24,
had. 24. So they had 24 runs. I think that's a good number.
21 by running backs.
Okay, so 20. Yeah. Give your running backs 20 to 25 carries. I think that's about where you want to be. But as far as the passes go, can we be a little bit more dynamic and creative with that?
Exactly.
There were a couple plays where they were, but overall, I just I don't know. There's a little bit missing there sometimes.
When I want them to pass on first down, I'm not like, let's go try to get the first down right here. I want some, like, you can be more dynamic in the pass game. You can make more things happen. You can be more creative in the pass game just by virtue of there's people running around everywhere. So you can just make cool stuff happen. So obviously it's a lot to ask Shoddy to be this offensive guru and come up with these crazy plays that are creative. But, just take a look over at Andy Reid and see what he's doing. Watch some Andy Reid film and see what they're doing and take some stuff. Because with DK and Tyler Lockett, and you got Disley, who's solid. You have enough guys there where you can do some cool shit. I feel like it's not just that KC has a plethora of weapons, but I mean, so does Seattle's not that far off. As far as a weapon standpoint, in my opinion, they're one or two maybe short, but you can still do cool shit.
Yeah, it was fun. I was listening to Mike Holmgren on the radio this morning, and he mentioned Andy Reid because Andy Reid is one of his guys.
Yeah,
and he said that he joked to Andy Reid recently. Did you forget everything I taught you? But basically, what he's saying is, every offense, and Holmgren was talking a little bit about McVay. And what he said was, Bill Walsh had an unstoppable offense, but until people started to figure out ways to counteract it.
Yeah.
So you constantly have to make adjustments to their adjustments. That's the evolution of football, right? That's how it works. So he felt like maybe McVay hasn't done that enough. But yeah, that's what he's saying about Andy Reid. Andy Reid is doing some way different shit than he did 10 years ago.
Yeah.
But that's what you have to do. So I would like to see a little, I'd like to see Shoddy come up with a couple more things to do with DK.
For sure.
That's all I want for Christmas. Yeah. Not the stupid apron.
All right. Yeah. Well, you got any
what? Oh, what did you think of the he gave himself up thing? Not that this is all that important.
Yeah. No, that was a fumble. It's fucking stupid. I mean, we've seen that so many times. I mean, rookie. I don't know what year he's in or whatever, but specifically, I remember a play with a Chargers rookie receiver. I forget who it was. It looked the same play. It looked the same. He fell down to make the catch, got up, and I don't think he was doing it for the same reason where he wanted to get back to the line of scrimmage. He did this and dropped the ball, so it was really bad. But he didn't give himself up. He rolled over and stood up. He could have kept running. So you're saying if he would have got up and kept running, that the ref would have said he gave no, blow the whistle. You gave yourself up. You rolled on the ground.
I thought he needed to. stay down for another second.
Yeah.
To me, a person shouldn't be rewarded for making. He's lucky because some officials might have not ruled it that way.
Yeah.
I think the letter of the law, they probably got that call right, but I don't think you should reward stupidity. So I didn't like the call, even though technically it probably was.
Because that's not the purpose of the rule. It's like the purpose of the rule. I mean, that is the purpose of the rule, where it's like if you want the play to be over, it can be over.
Normally, you drop to a knee, or you just slide, head first slide.
You just get in the fetal position for
fetal position. In this case, he had to go down to catch the ball, and then he naturally rolled over as a result of that. Mm-hmm. So I never at any point until he set the football down did it ever look like he gave himself up.
Bobby popped that offensive lineman after he picked that ball up too. I don't know. Was he okay? Did he come back? That dude is concussed, big time. Yeah. What else? You got any last things?
No, I'll be. Who do they have next week? I don't remember who they play.
Oh, Jesus Christ. But Niners.
Oh, the Niners, yeah. And hey, that's always hard, right?
Yeah, I'm never gonna just write them off.
The game may or may not matter a whole lot. Well, it'll depend. So if you need the Packers and the Saints to lose, if they both lose, the game matters. If otherwise it doesn't matter. But I still, hey, I want to kick the 49ers while they're down.
Yeah.
But they're a dangerous team. They're still a good team. Mm-hmm. So that's not going to be easy. They're going to be a problem. No. So, but yeah, I'd love to see them finish on a high note.
For sure. I think before we end off here, I just want to talk a couple things just about this week in general. The Saints putting up 52 on the Vikings. Oh. I think that was the most the Vikings gave up since like 64 or something.
Oh wow.
And then so you thought that was bad, and then the Buccaneers.
Oh my Lord.
Beating the Lions by 40. I mean, they were beating them by 40 in like the third quarter.
Yeah.
So that game felt like it lasted for 6 hours. I didn't even watch it, and on my phone I kept looking at the score, and it felt like it lasted for 6 hours. Dolphins, we'll talk about Tua on Wednesday, but they bench him and come back, which is interesting. Chiefs escape the Falcons. Browns with no receivers lose to the Jets. Jets absolutely fucked themselves out of Trevor Lawrence. We'll talk about that on Wednesday too. Colts choke to the Steelers, who avoid, I would say, officially, like, what's the word for it? Just that would have caused a full collapse of that franchise for this season. I feel if they ended up losing that game.
Yeah.
I did not realize the Bears ended up putting 41 on the Jags. When did that happen? It was like 17-17 in the third quarter. I swear.
Yeah, they poured it on late.
Jeez. Okay. Yeah.
Trubisky is actually playing some decent football the last few weeks.
Yeah, good for Mitch. Foles had one pass attempt.
So he's gonna force the Bears to sign his ass to a big extension. That he's gonna.
They better not.
He's gonna do a Goff. This is a Goff situation waiting to happen.
They better not do that.
Yeah.
They better not do that. Oh my God, that'd be some bear shit to do.
Yeah.
The Bengals catch a dub without Burrow. Also, Burrow is up and walking again.
Okay.
For rehab, so that's dope.
Good.
Yeah, I mean, Dwayne Haskins loses and gets cut. We'll talk about that on Wednesday. Cowboys put a smackdown on the Eagles, I guess. I mean, okay. And then Packers absolutely smack up on the Titans. Titans are still one of the most confusing teams in football. Feels like whenever they play the Chiefs, they'll lose. But before that, I don't know.
They're a really good team, but not a great team.
But then they lose 40-14 to Green Bay.
Yeah.
Because they get fucked on by great teams. That's the problem. They get shit on by great teams.
They need to play ahead.
Yeah.
You had the snow going on, which maybe they weren't quite ready for that. Yeah, we can talk more about that later too. But Tannehill and that running game, you want to be ahead to make that all work. And if they fall behind, Tanny's not a guy that I want when you're down a couple touchdowns. That's going to be tough.
No. And then let's make our Monday Night Football prediction. We got Bills versus Patriots. The line on ESPN is 7.5. So that moved, but
it was 7.
Yeah, I'm still give me the Bills. I think
Give
the
me
Bills.
give me the Bills.
Let's do a score.
I have a parlay, so
okay.
this would clinch it for me.
Let's do a score.
You go ahead. What do you got?
I'm gonna say Bills 34, Patriots 16.
I'll go 27-17.
Okay, 34-16, 27-17. All right. Any last thoughts until Wednesday?
No, again, enjoy, celebrate this division title. Be happy that you are a fan of one of the best franchises in football. Over the last 10, really even 20 years, if you want to, talk about the Holmgren era being pretty good as well. So it's awesome. Appreciate it. Respect it. Enjoy it.
For sure, yeah.
Now let's go win the fucking Super Bowl.
Yeah, seriously. And I forgot to plug this at the beginning, but, follow us on Twitter at Mason Charles Coe, at Aaron Coe 29. I haven't been tweeting at all, really. Honestly, Twitter's kind of a cesspool at this current moment, but I'm going to try to get back on there eventually. Hopefully the new year it'll calm down a little and I'll feel safer on Twitter. But
I've been tweeting a little bit. I kind of go for a few days. I do quite a bit, and then I go dark for a while. But I enjoy at least retweeting some things here.
For sure, I need to at least be retweeting more. But yeah, so also obviously subscribe, like, comment. If you are watching this, chances are, I mean, you can shoot us a DM on Twitter too, or whatever. And if you got any suggestions or likes or dislikes about the podcast, then let us know. Hopefully 2021 will be the first full year of us podcasting, which would be pretty sick.
Yeah.
So I mean, we're only we're only 3 months away from a full year.
Yeah, we started in
April 1st. That was the first.
Oh, was it?
It was April Fool's Day.
Oh, that's funny.
When our first episode was.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. I bet. Yeah, I don't know if I made this joke, but no, it wasn't a fucking joke that we were starting a podcast. Unfortunately, you're gonna start seeing a lot of links on our Twitter to YouTube episodes that get 4 views. So, but once again, if you're watching this far, I don't know why you're crazy, but thank you.
Thank you.
And we'll be back on Wednesday for the last episode of 2020.
Yes.
And love you guys. Peace out.
See ya.